Good morning. It's morning. So how do we reduce stress? That's a good question, right? I was thinking about that because I'm a morning person. I love mornings. It happens to be morning. The sun's trying to break out of the kind of dull ping pong ball gray overcastness. So I'm excited. It might get nice and sunny today. But anyway, that's my positive attitude. Who knows? So, how do we deal with stress when it comes up? The reason why I'm bringing it up is because I have actually been feeling a little what I call floating anxiety. Yeah, I'm not quite sure why. I think, anyway, my godmother told me this one time. She said, sometimes it's just allergies. Isn't that amazing? Sometimes it's just allergies. God, when you put it on like this, it doesn't look like it should look good at all, does it? It looks like it should look like a mess. All right. Well, sometimes I found out through studying physiology a little bit that anything that puts stress on the body activates certain brain chemicals. And those brain chemicals are messages that the brain sends to the body to help it cope with whatever's going on. And sometimes the brain just kind of takes over. Like for children, for example, if they're going through some trauma, those brain chemicals can help them actually forget that it ever happened. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And sometimes it can help us rewire a memory so it's not as bad. Or sometimes when things go crazy in the firing, sometimes it can make things seem worse than they were because of our sensitive feelings and emotion, or sometimes just the way our brain is. Like, it's easier for me to be paranoid than confident. That's just how my brain is wired. It's easier for me to want to analyze something instead of let it go. It doesn't mean I'm trying to make something terrible out of anything. That's just sort of the way my genetics goes. It's like, what's that? Let's figure it out. Let's fix it. And so I have to kind of learn to calm that down. So I'm going to talk about something that some of us do just because we can to help reduce stress. One of them would be addictions to alcohol and drugs. You'll find that especially with people going through a crisis, but that's more of a temporary fix for someone who's not an addict, right? If someone's an addict, you'll see them trying to reduce their stress at a very early age. Like their first party is going to be taking a drink and going, oh, I'm home, right? Some of us eat. Oh, yes. Some of us eat. And some of us hoard. Some of us have shopping therapy. Now, I have gotten caught up in the shopping therapy when I was younger. And since then, since I've been in recovery, yay, I haven't had a huge problem with that. However, I can tell you, whether you're an addict or if you're just a regular person who's in the normal range, considered in the normal range, there are there are people who use certain behaviors to reduce stress. And some of us shop. So we've got to go in and touch everything or buy everything. And some of us leave tags on it and return them. The reason why I'm bringing this up is because remember when I did that Temu review? Well, there were a couple things that I liked enough that I wanted to trust the company and order some more things. So I'm gonna give a couple little reviews on a few things that I bought. But here's what I want to throw out there is that it's okay to have some floating anxiety. It's okay. There is nothing that says that you have to feel, I call it smooth, perfectly smooth all the time. It's just not necessary. My little water bottle's getting low. I like to spray my dark eyeshadow. This is that Rimmel 026. I'm going to have to look for it again because I like it so much that I don't want to live without it. If I can find something else, I will. But back to the subject at hand. It's okay if we don't feel calm and collected all the time. There's nothing that says if you're not meditating right, if you're not praying right, if you're not listening to God right, if you're not being kind enough to people right, you're not going to feel calm and collected. Well, that might be true, but I can tell you, I wish they'd finish that and say, just because you are feeling anxious or frustrated doesn't necessarily mean you're doing anything wrong. You could have allergies. Honestly, God, that could be as simple as it is. Just because you're feeling anxious or even angry and frustrated. See, I'm just trying to get in between those wrinkles. Sometimes you're doing everything right. Your brain just gets tired of behaving. And sometimes you just get tired. And that just means you need to turn up. And I don't like the term self-care. God, it almost makes me want to gag every time I hear it. But it means, what can you do today to help you feel comfort? Comfort. That's a word we don't use a lot. I love that word, comfort. Are you feeling comforted today? I'd like you to feel comforted today. And that's one of the things that I did this week. And I don't know if I mentioned it in a previous... It's not opaque enough. It's not like a good lip liner. That's a problem. I don't like working this hard at it. Let's see what this does. That's lips. So what I did was, to kind of comfort myself, is I decided to focus on exactly what I needed to do and nothing else. I decided to go ahead and let certain projects stay on the dining room table And I even thought of a couple more projects and added them to the dining room table. That's what I did. So now I have a dining room table stacked up full of stuff. But none of it's like long-term or heavy projects. It's just getting off my duff and doing them. That's all. That's good enough. So on this side, it's a little sharper than the other side, so I'm just going to soften it up. I'll have to use this one. So I shopped and reduced some stress as well. How about that? I'm so happy about that. I get to be the boss of me. I get to do some shopping if I want to. I don't have to beat myself up for it. Do you ever do that? Say, okay, I'm going to start being a good girl and I'm going to quit. I'm going to quit spending money where I don't need to. I'm on a strict budget, blah, blah, blah. And you do that for years. And then one day, you know, you don't have to worry as much about money. You're making some money. And, but yet you don't let go of that poor girl syndrome, right? See what this does. That lipstick worked better as a liner when I put it on thicker. So now I gotta soften it up because it's just a little too red for me. I like a little bit of almost a neutral color. This is the only thing that I have that I'm pretty sure will Yeah, still brighter than I was gonna wear today. Not as natural looking, but I like it. That's that Clinique lipstick I told you about that they're not making anymore, I guess. If you hear of it, let me know. Number 33, Bamboo Pink. Why in the world would anybody quit making a lipstick that is my perfect shade? I don't know what's wrong with people. I really don't. Okay, so I'm going to do eyebrows one of these days and talk about that. But today I'm talking about shopping therapy. But I'm going to show this Palladio. It's an eyebrow powder. And this one is taupe, I think. They have like 3-4 colors. And I just draw a straight line right here. We'll go over this again. Right here. It's in line with and then a line from here to the top. Try to make it that a nice straight flat line. And then nice straight angled line. That's it. So, yeah, shopping good. If you know your limits, just don't go over your limits, right? You don't have to go over your limits. And that's where people start getting into trouble. Doesn't mean you can't spend some money. If I didn't have a bunch of stuff to do, I would go ahead and do some review of these little Temu things. And I'm gonna get Frankie to help me. I'm gonna get Frankie to help me. You know why? Because part of what I got is doggy toys. Yep, because I love my baby boy. So today's topic, I kind of like to do, I kind of like to think about first thing in the morning. It's sort of been my habit for a long time, is to think about a topic and carry it with me sort of throughout the day or not, but it kind of sets the tone for my mental health, for the things that are my goals. So I might think about the topics that I bring up with you, like, am I overdoing something to reduce my stress in order to comfort myself? And is it something I can afford? Not just financially, but time-wise. Like sometimes for comfort, I'll stay up way too late. In grandma's terms. Maybe not in mine. I'm allowed to stay up late if I want to. But it is sort of an addictive behavior with me. And sometimes I'll stay up late almost out of rebellion, not out of comfort. Right? And then it starts wearing on me. I can shop and buy some little things. But am I doing it out of rebellion? Am I doing it out of addiction? Or am I doing it out of smart comfort spending? Like some people go out to the bars and spend hundreds of dollars a night, if not more. Come on. You know who you are. Or anyway, outspend the right budget. I know some meals with drinks can be in the hundreds, if not thousand, depending on how generous you are. Well, even if I went out and spent $50 on Friday and $50 on Saturday, that's not a lot, right? If I'm buying my own drinks, which I don't do anymore. Haven't for a long time. But that means if I spend $100 on Temu once a month, who cares? It's right. I can afford it. I can spend it. But if I'm shopping on Amazon and I'm buying, did you know they have motor scooters on Amazon? And the instructions, not that I spent a lot of time looking, but I looked. Let's see, can I see? See, just over the side, just over that corner. Yeah, you can redecorate your whole house on Amazon in an hour. Click, click, click. So, Temu, I don't know that I know their site well enough to find, because I get distracted. I mean, oh my God, I get so distracted. I'll look for outdoor curtains so that I can kind of keep the bugs off my porch, and get sidetracked by how they advertise perfume right next to it. It's like, why are you doing that, people? They're looking for people who have ADHD. People are distracted. Little boogers. I mean, their site is like going to Big Lots or something. It's not like going to IKEA or Macy's or something. All right, that's all I'm going to do for today. So, the topic is, am I comforting myself, or am I overdoing it? I might have pushed the line on my dining room table thing. I really enjoyed just putting my projects on that dining room table and knowing I would have today to deal with it, and that it might be fun to sort through all that stuff, and that it was less stress at the time than putting it away, which normally I don't believe in at all. I believe if you put something down, it needs a place for everything and everything in its place kind of mentality. That's how I grew up. You take care of it, it'll take care of you kind of thing. But I walked past that dining room table today, and my makeup table, because I have all this stuff I wanted to show you in the next video, to show off some different the things that I bought. But yeah, everything in moderation. I don't think I overdid it. I think it was just right because it'll be easy to do today. It's just that it's not my normal personality to have a mess on my dining room table, so it's starting to bug me. So I gotta go. I gotta go fix it. I know I'm babbling. I just wanted to say hi. I just wanted to connect. Oh, never squint or blink too hard when your mascara's not dry. Thank goodness it was still wet enough and cold enough that I was able to feel it, because I may have company later and I don't want to look like some old woman who can't check her makeup. You know, at a certain age, we get to that place where it's like, oh, you're older and attractive. And then it's like, oh, you're older and it's showing, especially because you're doing these little things that just cringy, you know. Evidently, I got a weird compliment once again, saying, looks like you have some miles on you, but you held up pretty well. I don't know who says stuff like that. I got a headache. I'm gonna go get some more caffeine because I know that'll help. And I'm gonna go clean my house. Okay, bye for now.